I'm sure we're all just chomping at the bit to find out what happens to Kylo Ren and Rey when the saga comes to a close December of this year. Guys, found Death Star, and I've got a new article talking about Reylo and how the Rise of Skywalker will not treat Reylo like a little joke. This was sent to me from one of my good news sources, one of my good friends who does a lot of research for me and sends me articles all the time, so I get to always have this influx of news. And this is coming from Gizmodo IO9, and this is titled Daisy Ridley says the Rise of Skywalker doesn't treat Reylo as a joke. If you are even on the fringe of online Star Wars fandom over the past few years, you have probably heard the term Reylo. What was once merely a moniker for fans of a romantic relationship between Rey and Kylo Ren has, in fits and starts, maybe they mean in fact, become a heated war between people for and against it. Reylo has grown beyond typical fandom shipping, and, like a lot of Star Wars discourse in recent history, evolved into a buzzword that often brings with it toxic and harassment-laden levels of intra-fan spatting. And that is true. You don't have to go any farther than that Star Wars girl Anna's Twitter feed and YouTube page to find out how much harassment she's had just by making a comment on some artwork that she saw, and it was of Kylo Ren and Rey, being a little intimate, a little touchy-feely with each other, and she had said, "Hey, it's great artwork. I really like the artwork. I'm just, it kind of disturbs me, the premise of the artwork." That was it. I'm just kind of paraphrasing it, but that's all she said, and man, she had the attack dogs called on her unbelievably and unfairly. But that's the thing, you can't criticize anything. I mean, she was even complimenting the artwork, but because she mentioned the Reylo she's a little disturbed by that, and as we will see, there's good reason for it. She was attacked for it. So anyway, going on here, that's on either side of the debate too. Whether it's particularly fervent supporters of the pairing and through it a path to Ben Solo's redemption, demanding that the final film in the Star Wars saga make it a series endgame, or on the other hand, that it's equally fervent detractors who see supporting a relationship between light and dark aligned, the light side aligned heroine and the dark side villain of the sequel trilogy, as not just a tired trope of making the female lead's story arc hinder around romance, but a potential normalization of abusive relationships. And that's why it's disturbing. And if we see here, this was on Data Racer 117 on Twitter. Give a shout out to him and a ton of credit to him because he does massive research that makes our jobs a lot easier. But this is what she says herself.
I do know about Reylo. I don't know how I feel about it because everyone's talking about the toxic thing of a relationship when it's it's essentially emotional. It's a tricky road. I do feel like deep down Kylo thinks what he's doing is right and he doesn't think he's wrong, but he has also killed so many people. So I can't really get behind it now. In a personal way,
There you go. There it is right there. She herself cannot get behind the idea of Reylo because it's toxic and he's abusive and he's a murderer, but don't say that around certain groups of fans because they will come after you for it. So, it's... Anyway, so this article goes on to talk about how this is going to give a definitive answer to this. So, Ridley comments a few more times about how, it can be a toxic and tricky relationship for these two, but does say that it will deal with it and, kind of give closure one way or another. So we're just going to have to wait and see, which road it takes here. But let's see here. She does say, "It does not bother me, people writing theories," Ridley told the outlet. "It's really fun to hear them. Plus, because I know what's sort of going to happen, I think it'll be really interesting to see people's reactions to the final film. Obviously, there's this whole Reylo thing that some people are very passionate about, some aren't. JJ does deal with it. It's a very complex issue because people talk about, again, here she says, toxic relationships and whatever it is. It's no joke, and I think it's really dealt with well, and it's not skimmed over. So, she's she's not backing down from the fact that she thinks it's a toxic relationship, and it's not something she can support. Yet there's a group of fans that will not have it. They will not hear of that. They want it no matter what, and they'll attack you if you feel any other way than they do. So that's where we're at with Reylo. It is going to be dealt with definitively, and we're all going to get an answer. So I'm sure we're all just chomping at the bit to find out what happens to Kylo Ren and Rey when the saga comes to a close, December of this year. Guys, until next time, lock the doors and hope they don't have blasters.